City Cabana. So comes all the way the bypass into Embakasi, into the interchange without a ring road, into City Cabanas, and then you get into Uhuru Highway. No, Mombasa Road. Mombasa Road is moving. Imara Daima is busy up to General Motors. Then it moves. It comes all the way to South Sea. It starts getting busy as you approach Nyayo Stadium roundabout, but not so bad. Bunyala roundabout is where the issues are. Bunyala roundabout is very busy, and therefore Douglas Wakehuri, aka Aerodrome Road, is busy. Bunyala Road up towards Upper Hill is busy. Heading into Uhuru Highway into town is busy all the way to Haile Selassie roundabout, and so Haile Selassie is also very busy at the Green Park bus terminus into town. Busy. Kenyatta Avenue into town, busy. Thika Superhighway, how far is it stretching now? It's actually going all the way to the junction with Outer Ring Road, heading towards town. Muranga Road is busy as you approach Globe Cinema roundabout. In Westlands, you're okay until you get to Mogoga, and that is Brookside Grove. You'll get busy, get into Expressway, and then it moves. James Kishoro is okay. Limuru Road is also busy, just slightly as you head into Muthaiga. But the rest of the roads, not so bad.
This is the Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Oko, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latin, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is the
8 minutes after 8, on to the third hour of the Situation Room. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. The Situation Room is on Spice FM. Spice FM is one of the 3 stations in the Standard Media Group that will be broadcasting the English Premier League from next weekend, right? The league new season begins, okay? So every day that Arsenal is playing, just tune into Spice FM and you will hear the live commentary. We've got good commentators. They know how to do their thing, okay? They make you feel like you're actually there, right? Atangaza mpira mpaka, you when he says chukua kwa kichwa, you actually now feel it.
You know, reminds me of
mpira umekuwa mwingi.
Bwana, mpira ulikuwa mwingi na zamani ambapo radio ndio ilikuwa the only means kusikiza football. Kadenge na mpira kama unapata madegwa.
Those guys were good, but
no, they were very, very good. Very, very good.
They were really good. Eugene Wamalwa, did you used to listen to football?
Oh, yes.
Right? You listened to football.
Kabisa.
Well, those guys.
Leonard
Mambo.
Yes. There's a guy called Job Isaac Mwamto.
Yes.
His hand was a vitu kama.
And then when he died, MDJ Difondo.
Yes.
Took over.
You know, they were really good.
Walitangaza mpira bana.
Sana.
Difondo.
Yeah. And the other now generation of kina Muhammad.
You know, I actually stopped listening after that era.
After that era, you stopped?
I stopped listening.
Muhammad Juma Njuguna Waida.
No, him I know.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why? Sasa, those kind of guys, Spice FM, Berur FM, Radio Maisha, weekends,
Wama.
Every time there is English Premier League, just tune in. This is the only media house that has the rights to the English Premier League on radio in this country. So tune in. Eugene Wamalwa is our guest for the next 1 hour. He is the party leader of the Democratic Alliance Party of Kenya, DAP-K. You people keep calling it different things. People will call it DAPK, DAP Kenya, DAP-K.
DAP-K is
what does the party leader call it?
DAP-K.
DAP-K.
Yes.
Very good. That's a good one. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
To the conversation.
Thank you very much.
You know, City has said that he's been told by medical experts, that once you pass 40, at least twice a year,
Jaribu.
go for medical checkup.
Yes.
Jaribu tu.
That's important.
Twice a year.
Yes. Not once, twice.
At least twice, right? It's important. Why is it important, Eugene?
Especially for prostate, I think at a certain age, you need to keep checking. Yes. It's advised.
It's advised.
Yes.
So the Aga Khan University Hospital is actually making it very, very easy for you to do that. For only 9,950, beginning from there, you get comprehensive medical checkup at any Aga Khan University hospital facility across the country. You know, they have the main hospital, then they have the branches, they have the clinics. So go to any Aga Khan University Hospital Center, 9,950, say, I've come for medical checkup, comprehensive. They'll do it. It's a good thing, isn't it?
I think that's a good thing, yes.
Yeah. To think about just making people have easier access to some of this. Prevention is better than cure. Knowing is better so that you know how to deal with it. City will give you the day's proverb. So last week but one, last week and this week, he's giving us proverbs from landlocked countries in Africa. Name one.
Don't mention Uganda. Mheshimiwa alikuwa
Rwanda.
You have mentioned Rwanda, but you're right.
Yes.
Rwanda is landlocked, yes.
This week they are from?
The Central African Republic. Yes.
But even Ethiopia, you know, what they were trying to do with Somalia, and they cut a deal. I think it has fallen through. There was a lot of pressure from Mogadishu, because the deal was done with Somaliland. Yes, yes.
So now they've.
I think
Mogadishu is in agreement.
No, I think there was a lot of pressure. So they must. Abiy must have gone back on that deal.
On whatever they had agreed on.
Okay.
The capital of this Central African Republic is Bangui. But let me just mention, it has a president and a prime minister in a national assembly. Okay? Now, the president is called Faustin Archange Toudia. The PM is called Felix Molua. Okay? Interesting country, one of the richest countries on this continent, and yet one of the poorest. When you look at the Human Development Index, it is the third. When you talk about poverty, number one, number two, number three. Wow.
What? Globally.
Globally. And yet they have many minerals, uranium, crude oil, gold, diamonds, cobalt, and the list goes on. That's what happens when you have a country, yes, that doesn't seem to understand that you need to put the people right at the center of your planning and thinking. The proverb: an elephant does not limp when walking on thorns.
An elephant does not limp when walking on thorns. Mheshimiwa Wamalwa, what's your interpretation of this proverb?
I think that's like being in politics. You have to be like an elephant. You must grow very thick skin and hooves, because you walk on thorns everywhere you go. That's what politics is about. You wish you were that elephant.
Yeah.
Yes.
You constantly are stepping on thorns.
Insults, attacks, everything.
What?
So you're always stepping on thorns.
Yeah.
So you must grow a thick skin and thick hooves to survive in politics.
Very well interpreted.
Well, indeed. Now, you were covered and you were quoted in the People Daily just recently, and you were looking at the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The bottom-up agenda was the Kenya Kwanza Alliance's rallying call, and actually it's their blueprint, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, and you said, it's time we reviewed this thing, whether it's actually working. Time to ask whether Ruto's bottom-up agenda has made our lives better or bitter. Eugene Wamalwa. Correct?
Yes, I think I did say that. And, we voted on the 9th of August. 2 years ago now, we have started the third year. When you listen to many Kenyans and you ask them, are your lives better? On this third year of the Kenya Kwanza government, are you better off than you were over 2 years ago? Many Kenyans are saying their lives have gotten worse. And we were at Bomas. We had this dialogue for almost 6 months. We listened to Kenyans across all sectors. They came, they spoke to us. And I think what was most shocking was actually officials from different government agencies who came to tell us what is happening in the civil service, how our health as a nation has deteriorated in terms of those who have gone into depression. The cost of living has gone very high. Many families cannot make ends meet. And we did actually ask the experts from this government. We had Professor Ndungu, he came, the CS National Treasury, he came. We talked to the Energy CS, we talked to all of them. The cost of electricity has gone up. Someone who used to buy tokens, 1,000 shillings, would take you quite a mile over 2 years ago. But now those, you see the token shrinking, 1,000 bob, because of the cost of electricity going up. Every family is struggling. And we had, was it yesterday, they were saying it might still be going up again. You look at fuel, many of the middle class literally drive on E. There's a friend of mine who was joking yesterday that he can't remember when he last had a half tank or full tank. In fact, his car would be shocked if it moved above half tank because of the cost of fuel. Now, when our friends came in, they came up with this bottom-up thing. And everything actually literally moved from the bottom upwards. And the thing that changed the most was really the fuel. When we left with Uhuru, VAT on fuel was at 8%. There had been a push for it to be raised. Uhuru said, no, after COVID, when the economy improves, we might. But now let us maintain it. But when our friends came in, our bottom-up friends, they doubled from 8% to 16%. So when we asked these experts of bottom-up, what interventions have you put in place to make Kenyan lives better? And when you go through that Hansard of our discussions at Bomas, they said, oh, on fuel we have this G2G deal that was supposed to, cushion Kenyans. Then they said for the youth, we have Hustler Fund. We've given, was it over 50 billion to our youths? This is really going to help them. Then they also said that in agriculture, we have subsidized fertilizer. Then the fourth thing they said, we have also the housing levy. This is going to create jobs. When we are doing this affordable housing, to them that was really a master stroke, and it was impacting directly on improving lives of Kenyans. Then the fifth thing they told us at Bomas, we were talking about policy, bottom-up economic policies, interventions. They were talking about, I think, when the price of essential commodities went up, they came up with a KNTC deal. They took 16 billion taxpayers' money, and they said they were going to import these commodities from outside. Then the prices would come down, especially for edible oils and all this. Of all the 5 interventions, policy interventions that were put in place, when we grilled these experts of bottom-up, they actually said the G2G did not work.
How come?
And when it fell through, it was actually a scandal. We wanted them to tell the country how much, in terms of billions lost in that deal.
What is
And
it?
of course, yes.
Before we go, actually, what is the G2G deal?
Actually, that is
Fuel
something.
importation.
That
Because
is
you sat with the experts and they took you through.
Yes. Now,
So-
when we sat with them, actually, when we grilled them, they were not. The thing was not making sense.
What's your
And at the
understanding of
time, what they told us was that it was an intervention they tried, but it did not work. Then it also affected our relations with Uganda, because Uganda was also getting their fuel from here. And it was actually President Museveni himself who blew the whistle on that thing. That, there are people doing deals, bringing in fuel at a higher price. And it was actually affecting Uganda. So Uganda threatened to pull out. It was after a while that they addressed the issue.
So what was G2G?
So
From
the
what they
government to
explained,
government
because people don't
deal,
understand.
from what they told us, they went and engaged directly with the Arab states to be able to source their fuel at a certain agreed price, and that was supposed to actually come and stabilize the fuel price, because they had said they were not going to subsidize.
In addition to
They
that,
said, yes.
they moved from the 30-day credit period that they had,
Yes.
according to the G2G, to 180
Yes.
days credit.
Yes.
Now, this was supposed to free up
So it
the
eases
forex
pressure
that you-
on the dollar.
On
Yes,
the dollar,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
instead the dollar went up. You remember? Then they moved from the open tender process that they had to negotiate directly. So actually, at
essentially
Bomas,
single sourcing.
yes, at Bomas, they said they admitted that it had not worked. So that intervention failed. When it came to the Hustler Fund, many of the people you talk to, the youth out there, has Hustler Fund bettered your lives? Has it even impacted? Many of them say, well, I took 1,000 bob, but I didn't pay. Now, 1,000 bob would be a meal, or with the border. Once you fuel your border that day, it might not take you for 2 or 3 days. So that, in terms of impact, is very minimal. And I would say also that did not work.
Why do you think the impact would be minimal? Is it because of lack of awareness, lack of uptake, or because it is structured wrong?
I think it is tokenism that we're talking about. If you give one person 1,000 shillings, how will that change their lives? If you want to, say, start a barber shop, really, what you've gotten will be maybe enough for a haircut. But from our grilling of these experts, actually that hasn't worked much because many people did not pay. Of course, we've been told of a few success stories which are not very believable. But if you're to look at nationwide in terms of impact, the youth who have come out, these Gen Zs on the streets, they have said most of these things have not worked for them.
But why? Yes. Well, I compare the Hustler Fund
Yes.
to the other funds that have been there before.
Yes.
The Youth Enterprise Development Fund,
Yes.
the Women Fund, Weather Fund. And if you were just to talk about it anecdotally, you'd say that those funds have had little or no impact.
Yes, and
Like
also
many who would say, more than 15 years of the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, you really cannot say what the Youth Fund has actually done in terms of helping young entrepreneurs. If you look at the Women Fund, helping women entrepreneurs.
Yes.
If you look at the Weather Fund, helping the marginalized entrepreneurs, and then come in the Hustler Fund. So why would we single out Hustler? What is the problem with these funds?
from our bottom-up friends, this was supposed to be a very
game changer.
transformative. It's a game changer that would raise that hustler from the bottom upwards, would change their lives. But when the experts came, they said maybe it wasn't properly structured, or maybe it wasn't well thought through. But they admitted that intervention had also its limitations. So the only thing that they actually said had worked, and give it to them in the agricultural sector, the issue of subsidized fertilizer. This is, as a farmer, this is something I support.
You heard farmers who have received fertilizer.
Yes, but
And
this
as a
was
farmer, and
until...
as a farmer, did you receive fertilizer?
No, I did not, but the one I received was fake. It worked until the fake fertilizer thing came in. There was a donation from Russia. Up to now, they have never accounted for that.
It was a donation, and yet people were paying for it.
Yes, it was a donation brought in, and I'm told, I think some unscrupulous fellows mixed it with something. And then they said, okay, we brought it down from 6,500 to 2,500. Up to now, the rationed free donation to Kenyan farmers has not been accounted for. Last time we heard, part of it disappeared in the high seas. I think that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So all the interventions, the bottom-up interventions, actually, this was the one that had worked, but it also went down with the fake fertilizer thing. So in terms of what we discussed at Bomas, you find that most of those interventions have actually not worked, and the cost of living keeps going higher.
It keeps going up.
But what has actually made lives even worse was how they brought in the finance bill 2023 that actually bottomed up everything. For the first time, I don't know if you guys recall, I mean, as long as we've been here, I've never heard of, the price of salt going up. It's the first time it's actually gone up. Chumvi. Huko is a chumbe. When you talk to Ata chumbe, that's supposed to be almost something free, water and salt.
Why is it going up?
No, Kiberiti, everything that they have added.
Why are they going up?
It is because of the
we don't import salt. So
yes.
Salt we mine from the coast and
Yes.
from up.
Yes.
So why would the price of salt be going up?
No, but it's because of what has been added. Literally everything has gone up. That's what we're saying, the essential commodities. But when they came to the KNTC now, they took the 16 billion and said, we are going to import all these things. As we speak, and I was listening to, was it Bill O'Carroll, who was saying the other day that the cost of edible oil is going to go up. Once you put those taxes on the excise duty, whatever, when they're importing these things, and you find the price of that edible oil going up, what does it mean? It means that chapati, that fellow from Mjengo would go now, the maragwe they are frying there, the mandazi they're having, everything's going to go up. And the bottom up has cut across, and the minute you touch those essential things, you're touching that mamamboga. The fuel in that border, once it goes up, that young border fellow, whatever he was making also shrinks. So when you look at what Kenyans have said in the last opinion polls that were carried out, almost, was it 89% of Kenyans say their lives are worse off. They say their country is moving in the wrong direction. So these are facts that are out there, and the outcry is there. But it was worsened by the financial policies, the finance bills 2023 and 2024. We went out on the streets, pushed these fellows. They refused to reduce anything on that finance bill 2023. They said, and all members of parliament were called to State House, not a comma, not a full stop, don't remove anything. And mutalipa ushuru, mupende musipende. Hata mukiniita zakayo, bado mutalipa ushuru. That arrogance actually costed Kenya over 75 lives during those demos last year. About 2 weeks ago, the Court of Appeal actually declared that finance bill. It was struck down. Then comes the finance bill 2024. The Gen Zs happened to come out. At first, they said, you can't change anything through Twitter and WhatsApp. It will not work. These are our policies. And do you know we have lost over 60 lives? As we speak, there are still bodies at the city mortuary. We are being told different numbers, but as the opposition, we have demanded that the right figures be given. There hasn't been full disclosure of the people who are actually killed in these riots. But we are looking at 60, the official record, but it could be higher. in terms of if all those bodies, because many of them have bullet wounds, meaning they were part of the riots, shot by Kenyan police, who are not supposed to use live bullets, but they have used live bullets. There are a lot of people who are still in different hospitals, who have been amputated, who still have bullets in their bodies, in different wards, in different hospitals. So we want to say this, that indeed Kenyan lives are bitter, and we saw the bitterness on our streets. In almost 36 counties, Kenyans came out, demonstrated. They were tear gassed. They were shot by the police, but they still came out. So this is where we stand as a
Tells you
country.
that there's something.
Yes.
There's something that's that people are unhappy about.
Correct.
And it's about time that the leadership then addresses it. Let's take a break. We'll continue this conversation shortly. The party leader of the Democratic Alliance Party of Kenya, DAPK, the Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, is our guest this morning. We're talking about the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. It's written B-E-T-A. How do you pronounce it? Better or bitter? That's what Eugene is asking. Has it made your lives better or bitter? The bottom-up economic transformation agenda. We'll be back shortly. Keep it here.